We are here and ready to answer your questions.
Thank you. Okay, my question is, let me just get it up on the screen. I've been raising my vibration with regards to abundance in a financial way. What I'm noticing right now, however, is there is present this sense of urgency. There is almost like the next level of abundance to up level, as it were, is the abundance of time. Can you speak a little bit about that?
There is an interesting dichotomy that humans perceive between different things and whether or not they allow them into their experience. And it is verified by their external experience in their exchange with the world. At the core level, when you allow yourself to experience the deep abundance that is your birthright, it is necessarily an abundance of all things. It is an abundance of time. It is an abundance of love. It is an abundance of vitality. It is an abundance of money. It is abundance of all the things. We invite you to play around with the idea that when you are experiencing shortage consciousness is in play. And whether that is showing up for you in the realm of time or in the realm of money is in some ways irrelevant, because the external factor that is triggering the consciousness is just showing you what is already there for you. So that feeling of lack is needing your attention, calling your attention, asking for you to pay attention to it. And we will be quoting Abraham here. They talk about the two ends of the stick, and it is really important to get clear on which end of the stick you are holding. If you are focusing on the lack, know that that is a perceptually created experience, and the opposite is also available. We do not advise you to reject your current experience of the lack. We invite you to look at the experience of the lack and uncover what is guiding you towards the experience of the lack, whilst also knowing at the core of you that the experience of lack is an illusion and that you are capable of having an actual experience of all of the things that you are wanting. At the core of this is a matter of perspective, but it is also a matter of clearing and healing. There are experiences that you have had in the past that lead you to feel as though there is not enough, whether that is time, whether that is love, whether that is connection, whether that is money. And although those experiences were had by you and there is a way that they were real, they have been reinforcing a paradigm for you, and it is entirely possible for you to reinforce the opposite paradigm. But do not squash the part of you that has the paradigm of lack. Instead, bring it to the light, heal it, talk to it, address it, explore its concerns, and allow it to come with you so that you return to wholeness, and then embrace the abundance of all of the things that is inside of you and also external to you.
Yeah, that makes total sense. That abundance is abundance no matter what the subject is. It is just interesting how it can feel different in my experience.
Having said that, we stand by what we said, but it's also important to clarify that there are ways that you are more comfortable with allowing yourself to receive in particular areas. There are people who do have an abundance of money, but not an abundance of love. There are people who do have an abundance of love, but not an abundance of money. Time, any of the factors, you can be more trained to allowing that to flow in you, but still at the core of it is an experience of either abundance or lack. And the core is what requires love, clearing and exploring so that you can experience what is your birthright, which is all of the things in all of the ways.
Yeah, so it really is like, so it really is like peeling off layers of an onion, I suppose, and uncovering and accepting.
Yes, except for an onion is all the way through to the center, and your blocks are the layers of the onions, your wounds, your traumas, your paradigms that you have accepted, your beliefs, your patterns, your programming are like the layers of the onion. But at the core of you, you don't find more layers of trauma. You don't find more layers of patterning and blocks. What you find is divinity. So it is like an onion with a diamond hidden in the center.
I love that. Yeah. So
we like it too.
Excellent. So how would you advise us to peel off these layers? You've spoken a little bit about accepting our shadow sides, perhaps, or our darker sides, or our hurt. Is there anything else you can speak about?
You are speaking about the solution. You are bringing to attention and consciousness the solution. It is not rejecting the layers. When you reject the layers, you are not moving towards expansion and wholeness and flow. What is required is a looking at the layer, and making friends with the layer, and exploring of the layer, and uncovering why that layer is there. And we guarantee you that any pattern that you hold, that you perceive as negative, is there for a reason. It is protecting you from something. It may be that the reason is a misunderstanding that lies at the core, and the pattern has been created based on a misunderstanding. However, you never have a pattern, a belief, a block, a wound for no reason. It is there for a reason. And if you hate the block, we guarantee that you will not heal it. The process of going within is a process of looking at the layer, accepting, loving, and integrating the layer, and that is when it disappears. If you reject it, it may appear translucent, so you may not see it, but you will not be getting rid of the layer. You will be, in fact, reinforcing the layer, just in a different way. Self-rejection does not lead you where you want to go. Self-acceptance does, because at the core of it, what you want is to return to wholeness. You are never not whole, but you disconnect from the experience of your wholeness. And what you crave at the deepest core of you is the experience of that. Self-acceptance is the way. Self-rejection is moving you in the opposite direction and adding more and more layers to your onion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which makes it harder to find the diamond.
Yes. Yeah. So one thing that's been on my mind the last few days is another analogy, perhaps, of the same thing. So we have the way we feel, but then around that, maybe that's the layers of the onion. How we feel is maybe at the center of a different onion. And then on top of that is our judgments about how we feel, which can make it feel like a big thing. So how we feel is just how we feel, but our judgment about it is something that is more in the brain, like in our minds, in our heads, and that we can control. So the self-acceptance part, would you agree, is letting go of the judgment about how we feel, like we should be further ahead, we should have let this go by now, we should be better at this, that kind of thing.
The judgment must not be rejected. We are not saying that you should encourage your own judgment, but again, if you are holding judgment about how you feel, there is an underlying reason for that. You are judging it because there is a part of you that feels that you would be more expansive without the judgment. The way to get to that further expansion is not to reject the judgment. So you use the words dropping. So dropping the judgment is exactly what will allow it to dissipate, but only if you come at that with the attention and the intention of accepting the judgment first. If you decide to get rid of judgment, to not judge anymore, what you are doing is rejecting the part of you that holds judgment. And that, again, will take you in the opposite direction. It will be adding layers to your onion rather than healing the layers, melting the layers, integrating the layers.
Yeah, it's all resistance, isn't it? So resistance adds layers to the onion.
You cannot resist your way to wholeness. You cannot fight your way to wholeness. You cannot reject your way to wholeness.
Yeah, love it.
Know this. Whenever anything is coming up for you, any negative, difficult, challenging feelings, there is a part of you that wants more for you. There is a part of you that feels that you have possibly been mistreated. You have not been given your due. Things haven't gone as well as they should have. That part of you is your self-love. At the core of all of the challenging feelings is always self-love. But you see the negative feelings. You have been told that they're unacceptable. Parents, society, friends have withdrawn their love. That's your experience. They have withdrawn their love when you act in ways that are considered negative. And so you shut down these parts of yourself and reject yourself and become more addicted to the validation that you receive from others. And it is a cycle that repeats and repeats and repeats. But the antidote to it is within you. It is coming to a place of acceptance of the self and knowing that if you feel something that is challenging, the way towards wholeness is through that feeling. It is not through a rejection of it. And as you integrate the layers, as you dissolve the layers, you become more and more whole. There is less barriers between you and the core of who you are. And as you move further in that direction, in that inward direction to wholeness, you become less dependent on the validation of others. And you will be surprised to experience that then the validation comes when you no longer need it, when you are in love with yourself, when you feel like you deserve the good things. What you are shown by the universe, by those around you, is a mirror of that. When you feel divided, when you feel broken, when you feel unlovable, what you are shown is a mirror of that. Not because the universe is cruel, but because it is showing you what is standing in the way, what the barriers are, what the layers of the onion are that are stopping you from experiencing yourself as the divine being that you are in that moment. Do not get addicted to the validation of others. Become addicted to the validation of the self. Validate yourself internally always. That is the path to everything that you are looking for. Anything else takes you in the opposite direction.
Yeah, that makes things easier as well, I think, in a way that we have all been conditioned.
It is meant to be easy. It is meant to be easy. None of this is difficult. It is meant to be easy. That is one of our most consistent ideas, and we will be saying it to you so often that you may become bored of it, but that's okay. When you hear it over and over and over and over again and it starts to become more familiar, it can start to penetrate the ideas that you have to earn everything, that you have to struggle towards expansion, that you have to struggle towards growth. Those ideas are true for you in experience because you believe them to be true, but they can melt away just like the layers of the onion when you allow it and when you choose it. So we will repeat to you over and over again, it is meant to be easy. Easy does not mean lack of value. You do not have to strive to earn things for them to be valuable. You can float and flow and align and create things of immense value when you allow it.
And that puts also the idea of, say, lack of time in perspective, because if you let it be easy, time will become different, right? Would you say that is the case? So if you're in flow, then things don't take as much effort. Flow,
yes. You are supported by the universe in ways that create efficiencies that are not available when you are trying to push the universe into the shape that you wish it to be. That will give you a different experience of time in that you will not be fighting and struggling. You will relax into the allowing and not the sitting around without taking action. It's taking inspired action that is supported by the universe. That is one of the most delicious experiences, and it is in large part what you are here to experience and to enact. Inspired action that creates results in your physical world, and it is not meant to be hard. That does not mean that there won't be challenge, but challenge can be enjoyed. And that is what you intended.
Yeah. So, moving forward for myself, one of the things I have been practicing is the self-trust. I have a lot of interests and a lot of ideas, and I want to do a lot of things. And I find it sometimes challenging to focus. Do you have any sort of thoughts on the balance between?
Sometimes you shift your focus because the energy has dissipated, and sometimes you shift your focus because a subtle block has come up and you are not aware of it. We would invite you, when you start to feel your focus wanting to shift, to do some connecting inwardly with yourself and explore yourself so that you get to know the feeling of when the energy has naturally dissipated from a project, or when a block has come up and that is being experienced by you as a desire to shift your focus. Your own wisdom and your own guidance can take you through the work or the play that is required so that you can deeply know in what instances you are avoiding something and in what instances you are moving towards something instead.
Yeah, so the difference between is moving away from and moving towards. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I have any more questions.
That's okay. We have enjoyed this exchange.
Me too. Thank you very much.
We wish to remind you, and anyone else who is exposed to this material, the reason there is no rush, the reason that you don't need to push, is because you are here to play. You are here to experience for the joy of experience. You are not here to work hard at a job that you don't like, to pay some bills and then die. You can live that way, and it's okay if you choose that for yourself. But what you are here to do is to play, to experience things because they are calling you, to follow the whispers of your soul to that which is aligned for you, with you, and for the benefit of the whole. You benefit the whole when you allow yourself to flow. You also benefit the whole when you don't allow yourself to flow. However, it is more fun to allow yourself to flow. So for your own sake, for the benefit of you, we encourage you to embrace flow, to embrace ease, to enjoy the challenges and to move forward the way someone who decides to climb Mount Everest for the fun of it chooses to do so. Challenge is interesting, different. Some of you think that you would like to drink cocktails by the pool for the rest of your life, but we guarantee you that you only feel that way when you are tired of what you have been doing previously. After some weeks, even some months of not doing very much, your life energy will start to get depleted if you're not investing in things that give you value and return of energy. You are supposed to be invested in things that light you up, that feel like fun. And following your bliss, following your joy, following the lightness is the way for you to have the life that you intended. There is no problem if you choose to do otherwise. It is just that we would love for you to love your experience of life. We love you, we love you, we love you. Go well.